you. Okay. Oh, that's good. They can't see me. That's fine. Yeah, we'll do it like. Oh, I hate the way I look at this thing. Okay. All right. So we know that right now things feel and don't look so great. They don't look great outside. They don't feel so great inside. All we hear so many stories, people who have Rahman's son passed away, people who are ill, people who are all kinds.
Shayna, we don't see you.
We have the what?
The top of your head. We don't see you. Thank you.
I know. I'd rather be this way.
Perfect.
Thank you.
About a water bottle.
Okay, we'll work it. Okay. Okay, better. No,
No.
What about? Okay.
There.
Okay. Hello. Okay, so now it makes me very self-conscious. Okay, so now, but keep in mind, although right now we feel like we're in the middle of a dark cloud, keep in mind that coming up this Friday, Erev Shabbos, and Shabbos is what? Rosh Chodesh Adar. Yes. Nichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. Nichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. Hi. And Simcha, there you go. Now, what is the avoda of Adar? And we have two Adars, so we have time to practice our Simcha. Adar 1 and Adar 2. We can work on it so that it moves along and gets more and more Simcha-dik. But the question is, what is the Simcha? What is it? This is from Bilvavi, my favorite author. The Bilvavi, you know it's gonna say that. Everyone could have supplied that. Anyway, so what does he say? He says our vote in the month of Adar is tzchok, laughter. Now, he says when a person laughs, he's basically revealing his happiness outward. Now I wanted to start with a joke because it seems a little like an oxymoron to talk about laughter in a very serious kind of a way, but it's better to talk about laughter as a joke. But I didn't think of a joke. I thought of some couple of things and I said, nah. So I just had to talk about laughter in a serious way, but you'll have to live with it. Okay, now, when a person laughs, okay, that's an outward expression of happiness. He brings up happiness from the inside of his heart to his mouth, and that's where he laughs from. So before I go further, I want to ask you to think about, do you recall any time that you had a moment of spontaneous laughter? I'll start you off. I was on the subway going into work in Brooklyn. That's a very funny place to have spontaneous laughter. There was no cell phone in my ear because we didn't have cell phones in those days. And all of a sudden, and I wish I could remember what it was because I'd have preserved it and then I would have saved it for each Adar. I would have pulled it right out of the box and said, okay, that's what was funny. Anyway, I started to laugh and I couldn't hold it down. And now I'm imagining everyone sort of looking. Yeah, exactly. Looking at me, wondering what this idiot's laughing about, wondering what was so amusing. Okay, it happened. It was great. I just remember the laughter. I don't remember the cause. But if anyone here can think of a time that they really spontaneously laughed and feels like sharing it, I'd be very open to that. I'd be open to hearing about it. You don't have to. No one's twisting arms. If you don't want to share it, you can make a note if you have pencil and paper. Yes, somebody's raising your hand to share a moment of spontaneous laughter. Thank you. What's your name again? All the time. Yay. This is
when I'm driving, I don't know, I'll think of something that just makes me laugh. And I will just burst out laughing.
That's wonderful. What is your name? I'm sorry. Leah. Were you born in Adar by any chance?
No, I was actually born in
Tishrei. Okay, very good. So that's wonderful. But you can't think of, can you think of something to share with us that makes you laugh? Can you think of any thought that you'd like to share? And that you.
I've seen some funny things on YouTube.
Okay, me too.
And so like or I'll remember something that my kids think is funny. Like, okay, there was this one time that we drove to a gas station, and I taste that the place that where you pay was a little bit of a distance. So I was walking in front of the car, and I was wearing clogs, and I fell, and my shoe flew up in the air.
Wow.
The kids were in the car, and they see me fall, and see the shoe fly up. And I got up, and I was like, and I just kept walking. They just thought it was there. So sometimes that was top of my head.
And you were okay, so it's not a bad memory. You were fine. That's great. I love it. Anybody else? Yes, I see hands. Go ahead. Laughter. Thank you, by the way,
Actually,
ladies.
this is something that I share with one of my daughters, and it's the hilarity of we used to watch cartoons with your kids, right? The guy steps on a banana peel. When I see things like this, even though of course I don't want the person to get hurt, I can't help myself. I just like start laughing hysterically, and I want to shut up. And it's like I'm not laughing, but it's a release. Okay, it's a funny thing. I mean, obviously, if I saw that it's like some kind of terrible accident, I would burst out laughing, right? But it's just like, I don't know, I guess it shakes up our who we are a little bit, you know, when suddenly somebody's confident, especially super confident, and suddenly go, okay, I know it's not a really good meet.
It's okay. We're almost in Purim, so Purim is Mahapech. Purim switches it.
It's just.
I just want to mention something. I'm sorry to interrupt your joy, but there are people on Zoom, and when we will speak here, they don't hear and they don't see anything.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay, we apologize to you Zoomers, and we wish you were here. And we're sorry that you can't hear the audience comments, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to lecture per se. This is how I work. I ask people to participate, and they help me out. So forgive me if anybody on Zoom thinks of something that made them laugh. Be my there's somebody who raised her hand. Can you hear her? Go ahead.
Okay.
Out loud. Speak out loud. How do I wait?
She has to unmute.
You have to unmute yourself. Did you unmute yourself?
Yes, I don't think I'm muted.
No, you're not muted. You're fine. Can everyone hear her?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is something I heard. I heard it from my great nephew, who was 5 at the time. And I was watching. And my sister is the grandmother. And he says, Grammy. And he's like 5, right? You know why you shouldn't ever shoot a gun in the air? And she said, no, but I'm sure you're going to tell me. Yes. If you shoot a gun straight up in the air, you might kill God. And
Oh, that's very cute. That's beautiful. Yes, someone else. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Okay, someone else had their hand up. Yes. I figured you'd pop in there. Thank you.
Things aren't always funny at my house, but my husband still has a sense of humor. I was trying to help him on Shabbat with his prayers. He turns the pages the wrong way, and he gets annoyed with me sometimes when I try to get him the other way. So he says to me, you have to understand, I don't know what I'm doing. I know, that's why I'm trying to help you.
Yes, thank you.
Our family used to have what we call the Sunday Eagles. It was crazy. Every Sunday evening, dinner time, we all started like when you're teenagers and you just you just have to look at somebody and you just like explode. Yeah. We were like that, the whole family, me and my brother and my mother and father. It was every Sunday dinner. I don't know why. And we were just like hysterically and like just look at it. And then we went. No, absolutely not. And then we went on a holiday and we were in this really fancy hotel and Sunday dinner. Started the giggles in the middle of this public dining room in this fancy hotel, and that made us laugh even more. I mean, we were just like everyone thought we were insane for no reason. Whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
So whatever, we're around little good babies, babies in Israel, a lot of babies. Anyway, so one of the parents took a piece of paper and the baby was like, I don't know, 7 months old, and just ripped the piece of paper, and this baby cracked up. So the parents took the piece of paper and tore it again. We were 20 minutes watching. We were laughing. It was like a baby changed our entire state. Like we were all like, no. And this baby starts laughing about paper, and we were hysterical. We couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny to watch a baby laugh so hard about a paper. It was just like,
Oh, that's adorable. That's great. Okay, I'm going to press a little further. We still have a little bit of time. How much time do I have, Tatiana?
Not much.
That's what I think. Okay, so the rest I'll say for poor Shady. I did the first paragraph. Okay, no, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I just want to say, a couple of things that were okay, that I thought were very interesting. Yes, that's true. That's true. Okay, we'll take time for the halacha time and we'll do it. Okay. So the question is, what is it exactly is chok, is laughter, that we can use to serve Hashem with? Okay, how do we do that? Well, what is and this is not the obvious answer. I don't want to blame him for it. I'll blame me for it. What is the opposite of happiness? Depression, sadness, gloom, doom. And what does Hashem say? What do we know? What have we heard? Mitzvah gedol liot b'simcha. It's a huge mitzvah to be in simcha all the time. And when we work hard enough, and it's not a matter of working hard, it's a matter of being open and relaxed, to allow ourselves to laugh at ourselves. Someone here said it. We also have to laugh at ourselves. We have to not take ourselves so seriously. And that's like a fine line, because we have to, yes, take ourselves seriously when we made a commitment to do something we should do, and so on and so forth. But on the other hand, if something goes wrong and if something messes up, we have to also accept that as from Shamayim. So there's a lot of emunah and bitachon that goes into laughter, so that we can appreciate the fact that, well, I have a picture. I don't know if you won't be able to see it, but I took a picture this morning of the clouds, and on top of the clouds there's this beautiful blue sky. It was just a beautiful, I'll show whoever wants to see it afterwards. I'll be happy to share it. I showed some select people who were sitting near me. I showed them, but I couldn't show everyone. And the idea is to get ourselves up above the clouds. Okay, I'll just quickly move along. And what he says is like this. Okay. No, I want to read the positive stuff. Okay. Chok can be identified with seeing the future in the present. That's one of the most profound statements I've ever heard. Chok can be identified with seeing the future in the present. What is doubt? What is fear? What is scariness when we're afraid of what's going to happen or what could happen next? When we could see a present that is filled with chok, with understanding that it's going to be okay, it's all going to be good, emunah, bitachon, then we can relax. We can relax and enjoy. He brings the famous story of, I think, Rabbi Akiva, who laughed because he saw the foxes on the mount, and he says, if I could see that prophecy fulfilled, I could see Mashiach coming and our rebuilding the Beis Hamikdash. So think, and I'll ask another question out to the crowd. Think about something that happened to you in the past, that if you had future sight, which you do now because you lived through it, that was really the future in the present kind of a thing. And anyone have any ideas? I have an idea, but I'll give anyone else. The future in the present, something that happens right now that gives us a hint that it's going to be okay in the future. That's what I mean. The future in the present. That's how I understand what he's saying. You could understand it differently. The future and the present. Come on. You've had such interesting lives. One episode, one thing that you remember. The future and the present. I'll give you my example. I'll open it up. No, you twisted my arm. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So now I'm going back 35, 40 years ago. Okay. And I thought I wanted to do a straight through PhD program in clinical psychology. I was like, okay. So, and I had taken some undergraduate courses in psych. I'd done okay in them. And I was all ready to go and do it one of my professors took me under his so-called wing, and he mentored me a little bit. And his best friend, his best friend in the entire world, was the head of the clinical program in the Graduate Center of New York. A very, very, very impressive school. And I had an interview with this fellow. And I'm sitting there talking to this fellow for an hour. I don't know, chit-chatting, whatever. And I walked out. I said, oh, I'm in. Never say you're in until you're in. Never do that to yourself. Don't do that. Anyway, I walked out. I felt great. And it's coming to my birthday. My birthday in English is April 13th. Should be a hint, April 13th, right? It wasn't a Friday. And I get a letter in the mail. And what does the letter say? We regret to inform you that you're not accepted.
Oh, nice.
Not accepted. Shoo! And I sat there and I started to, kind of like this. And then I called the professor called me, or I called him. He said, well, how'd it go? And I said, terrible. I was rejected. He said, you were what? He hangs up the phone and he calls up his friend. And his friend said, well, we didn't think she could do it because she has young kids. They wouldn't have, this was in the 70s, they wouldn't have said that today. They would never have said that today, but we didn't think she could do it on that basis, so therefore we turned her down for the fellowship, Yeah, I mean, that was then, this is now. But what was the future in that time? Thank God they turned me down. My whole life would have been a completely different place. I would have had to go begging year by year for some kind of a grant to keep earning a living. And that's not so easy. And that's not for me. So Baruch Hashem, after that, I tried law school and that worked, thank God. And the rest is history. But the point is that if I had, and I didn't see it. Someone said to me at that point, there's a silver lining in the cloud. And I believe that's a message from Shemayim, not just from the person who said it to me. I said, silver lining, that's a holiday card. But truth is, there is. And there is a possibility always to see that future in the present. And that dispels doubt. Because what is the essence of doubt? The essence of doubt is you don't know what's going to happen to you next. And the essence of doubt is fear. Doubt and fear. And that's Amalek. So in order to dispel Amalek, what do we need to do? Tell a joke. Be happy.
That story doesn't really illustrate what you're talking about. I don't think. It didn't seem to me that way.
It doesn't. Well, it does. It doesn't. Okay. So how about you? Do you have a story that might?
No, I'm not sharing. I know.
Okay. That was what I thought of. You may be right. You may be right. Well, it illustrates it in retrospect. That's what it does. Okay, that's what I meant. It didn't at the time, no, but in retrospect, yes. And as long as you live past it and you survived it, then you can always use your retrospect to see how there was a glorious future in the past. Okay, folks.
You're okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Well, that's right, because it's 6 minutes to go. Okay, so what else do we have here? Okay, so what else does he say? Purim, he says, Purim is redemption now. He says Purim and the month of Adar, the future redemption is already taking place in the present. But this we know. But we believe. We have to believe. We have to Ma'aminim, the sons of Ma'aminim, the sons of Ma'aminim, the children of our Avot who were Ma'aminim. Okay, that was. By the way, I prepared actually 2 whole talks for today, but the other talk was too heavy. It was too depressing. I'll tell you what I found. Okay. Yes, I made it. Okay, so I'll tell you. Since I prepared.
1 second. This is from scientific research. If you smile, not if you feel smile, just make a smile.
That's right.
Our mood changes.
That's absolutely true.
That's true. Thank you, Leah. Very true. Okay.
Just make a smile and our mood changes.
Okay, you want me to say in 2 minutes what I spent a day or so trying to figure out? 2 minutes, okay. So I thought what I was going to do is, because we're not between, but last week was Parshas Yitro. Thank you. And this week we're coming into Mishpatim. Not Shvatim, we're coming into Mishpatim. Thank you. Okay, see, I prepared it yesterday, it's out of my head today. So what were the two things that stood out in my mind between those two places? Were statements about the korbanos, right? And about slavery. Those two things, korbanos and slavery, are, if someone wants to be a naysayer, a scoffer, they could pick those two things up and say, look at that. Look at what your Torah talks about. Look what it supports on, so to speak, animal sacrifice and slavery. And I said, there must be an answer to that that's really, really powerful. So I started looking of Hirsch, the Radak, online, the Malbim, and I didn't know where to start, where to stop. And it comes out, and the Rebbe said, listen, there is no answer to what this is all about. He said, the answer is that Hashem wants it, and that's the answer. Hashem asked for it, and when you give him what he asked for, then that's nachas for him, and that's benefit for us. Maybe it's a good way to end this. And therefore, I said, okay, I was looking for something that doesn't have an answer, but now I have an end to my talk, which is an answer. Thank you, Hashem, very much.
So much.
Thank you.
That is wonderful.
Thank you, everybody.
Couple of announcements. I have.
Yeah.
So there's a board that a lot of people know, and my son gave a twist on it, okay? So the word for doubt, the word for worry in Hebrew is daga.
Right.
So the letters are Aleph, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Which one is missing?
Bet.
And Bet stands for?
Bitachon.
So I'm saying this, right. So I was saying this to my son. I said, and what does Bet stand for? What are you missing? If you don't have it, you'll give me words. He said, Bubby.
If you don't believe that Adar is coming, that was a perfect proof today. We laughed today so much. Baruch Hashem. Toda Hashem. Thank you so much. I have a couple of announcements here. Number one, if you forgot, Judy is not here, but the box is here. So